What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again. This time on a Sunday. We were just doing this a couple days ago, but that's crazy. Different background. I'm at a different spot, so that's pretty cool. I don't know why it's cool, but it is. Joel, Joseph, Casey here, always with me, the resident homies. Joel looks bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning. And we're spreading across the globe with this one. I just realized how many different locations we got on this podcast, but we're bringing in the guys from Profanity. We got Thomas, Lucas, and Martin. Thomas is in Germany. Lucas is in Australia. And
Austria.
Did I swap it out?
Yeah.
It's easy to swap.
I tried to get I was almost through this one, dude. I almost got all the information out. I almost did it like a straight up host, dude. Anyways, Austria, Australia, and fucking Germany and California in the United States. What's up, motherfuckers? We are here on a Sunday morning for us. Nighttime. What time is it in Australia right now?
4 o'clock, just past 4.
For PM?
AM.
Oh,
Jesus.
Dude, savage, bro.
I'll stop complaining.
Martin wins. Yeah.
I know.
Well, that's crazy, dude. Well, thank you so much for, coming on at 4 a.m. your time, dude. How you been up all night, or did you wake up early for this?
No. Set the alarm at 3:30.
Nice.
Time to refresh from my beauty sleep and with the couple and everything is fine.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much, dude. That's awesome.
No worries.
It's like, I guess I've gotten up at times at like early times like that too, and still felt like, I could be firing right now. It just all depends on if you get 6 hours of sleep. 6 hours of sleep, I think I could be good at 3, 4 in the morning.
Sometimes you wake up after at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and you're like, I feel great right now, but it's 3 in the morning, so I'm gonna go back to bed. And then you wake up at 8 in the morning and you feel like shit.
Yeah, you're like, I should have just stayed. Awake on that 3 a.m. wake up.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, dude, back to the 3 multiple person podcast. So let's see how we can do this. So Thomas, original member, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Are any of you guys go all the way back to the beginning with Thomas?
Nearly.
Yeah.
Since 95. Yeah.
So you guys basically got this going together back in 95. I was only 11 years old.
Me too.
Okay. Yeah. I listened to the latest album, and I was really, really blown away by how amazing the Fragments of Solace album is. It really impressed me. I'm a super fan all of a sudden. And if you guys like the podcast and all the music that we put out, or the bands we bring on, you're gonna love Profanity. So check that shit out right fucking away.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So I want to know about how you guys got to where you are now. You have a super long history, like 27 years going or something. So yeah, how did Profanity get started?
Yeah. So this is just another proof to see how old we are. Yeah. So I'm 44. Yeah, but death metal keeps me young, and the other guys obvious too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you looked 44 at all, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, thank you also very much for having us in this very totally awesome video podcast.
Yeah, that's kind of how we became in contact, Thomas. You and I. You had been a fan of this thing pretty early, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's super cool, dude. Yeah, and for you guys to for it to already get out to you guys, that's the great thing about the internet. It's like we have a way to just get it to people that actually want to hear it. And it's super cool to know that people still are down to hear us talk about this, and have this platform to be able to reach across the globe now and actually have a conversation with you a few months later after we just met online, so that's what I love about this thing for sure.
Yeah, this is totally awesome. And also this Profanity podcast is something very special for us and for me, because we have the great pleasure to have also Martin here in this podcast. And this also shows that we are bounded by death metal, and it doesn't matter how far we are living. Yeah, you know.
Most definitely.
How
So
long the
Martin,
distance-
when did you? I was gonna say, Martin, when did you move to Australia? Or was that something that you've always lived there, or did you move there recently?
No, 2013. My wife is an Australian, and we met in Germany. And after 2 kids, she became a little bit homesick, and I did a couple of holidays there in Australia and thought, why not shifting? I really love it here.
Definitely.
But
definitely.
unfortunately,
how do you
you
like
have to-
Australia?
I love it.
Go ahead.
Absolutely
Sorry.
love it.
You love it? Awesome, man. So what's the major differences, like you went from Germany to Australia?
I think it's for me, it was a huge difference in the culture. Growing up in Germany, you have so much, and it's not in a negative or positive way. It depends on yourself. You probably don't know the difference until you move to another country. But it's very organized, structured in Germany. Being a kinder, school, and here in Australia, I feel it's very relaxed, much more relaxed. It's a huge country. It's a continent. You have so much space to breathe. You have so much space for everything. And
what's the first crazy creature that you came across when you moved over there? Like you looked at you saw a spider like fucking the size of a basketball, and you're like, what the fuck?
Pretty much. It was a huntsman. Typical spiders here, they're not really bad. There are others, whitetails and redbacks, they are the dangerous ones.
Yeah,
they're the little ones,
crawly.
the black little ones. But the huntsman, it can be like a hand. And I had that one morning in my hoodie, and I didn't know. I thought I was driving to work, and I thought, what the heck is that? And I went out of the car and I thought, whoa, who are you, mate?
I just got goosebumps immediately, dude. Hairs on the back of my neck, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's scary, man. I'm one of them. I'm definitely an arachnophobe. I'm definitely like, that's the one thing I don't care about. Snakes are fine, whatever, lizards, whatever, all that stuff. But spiders, like there was a spider in my bed yesterday, or up just above, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna go to the living room. I just went on the couch and just slept on the couch. Because my cat does. My cat will go up and the spider will be like going like on the wall. My cat goes like, and my cat doesn't kill anything. He just swats it into my bed. He just goes like, I'm gonna bring the spider with you, dude. Here you go, dude. Just like he's thrown spiders on my head before. I'm like, no, I can't do it, dude.
He's a little predator, dude.
He doesn't eat anything though. He just goes like, he just plays with it. And I'm like, cool, it's gonna bite me and I'm gonna die. And then you keep playing with it.
Well, I mean, you constantly feed him, so he's like, I don't really need to eat this thing, but I want to have some fun, dude.
Exactly.
I want to stay on my toes.
Exactly. So spiders is like, is there any other like snakes or any crazy like creatures out there?
Yeah, you have. I think the most poisonous animals are in Australia here, but coming from Europe, for sure you're not really aware of that. You have to learn that and be a little bit more aware and see things like the Aussie see it. And again, for me, it's easy. My wife is an Aussie. The kids, they were 1 and 3 years when we shifted over. So they're learning all these things. But when I talk to my family in Germany, or they come over for a visit, it's dangerous, and what do you think in here and that? And at one point, you say, it's just normal life. It's not a big deal at all.
Yeah,
it's part of it. I think it's more for non-Aussies to make a big deal about it than for the Aussies.
No, definitely. Yeah, I've had friends just visit Australia, and I can't tell us in your accent and all, but I've had friends come back from Australia from like 18 months there, and they got Australian accents after only visiting for a little while. I mean, a German Australian accent would be an interesting one, but I can't tell. I don't know what that is. A lot of people, I've heard that from a few people, that people will come back from Australia from visiting for a while and they'll straight up have an accent.
I mean, I don't want to get too into the weeds real quick, but that happened to me, dude. I went out to Missouri for like a month and I came back with like a little, hey, y'all. Jeffrey, my cousin. By the end of the week, I'd be calling my cousin Jeffrey because you hear everybody else say it that way, and you're just like 9 years old. Like, I guess I'm just gonna pick up this little thing for a bit, but then 1 week back at home, it's like hella.
Yeah.
Picking up an accent goes super fast.
Yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip how it works in the human psyche, how people will pick that up and start using it as their own. And even on tour, because touring the country and stuff, I came back with like a hybrid, like Southern with my surfer kind of talk too, and like had like, what else was it? It was another accent I was using all the time. Canadian. It was like this like hybrid mix of like this like kind of French Canadian like y'all like surfer thing. And now I still say y'all all the time now. I still say y'all from touring. I'm like, what's up, y'all? And my coworkers are like, what the hell? Like, what state are you from?
We were talking about this where touring with bands that none of the bands is like talking. It's like a German speaker, so everybody is speaking English, but there are also no native English speakers within the touring party, and in the end, you just wind up speaking Borat English, because that's what everybody understands. You come home, and for the first couple of weeks, you're speaking this horrible English.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you guys are bilingual. That's a talent I do not have. So you guys can do multiple languages on. That's crazy. Yeah,
but it's because there is no need to when you're a native English speaker. Here in Europe, you're learning. I think now you're already learning it in ground school English. I think. Okay. We had a little bit of English in ground school, and then from then on, you need it all the time. What are you gonna do? Nobody of you will ever need to speak German. Why?
I'm super thankful when I was in Germany that people understood English, because there was one time I needed water really bad, and I was like thinking I was gonna die because I was hungover and I couldn't find water, and I was like, water, like you finally like found a place that would like give me water. But I was super.
And if you just do that one, you just get beer, in Germany.
I know, right? That's definitely not what I needed that day.
Have any of you guys ever had dreams in English, or is it always in German?
Good question. I think I mix it up.
Yeah.
if I can remember, but quite often I wake up and I remember what I've dreamed, but I'm not quite sure was it English or German.
Yeah. Wow. It was just in Jinglish.
Probably.
Sorry. All right. Anyways, we can get back to death metal. Sorry, I'm a little loopy and hungover today, guys. So
no, dude,
what you're getting today.
It's good. It made me chuckle.
So let's hear about the first couple demos and leading up to the first album, Shadows to Fall. And I think this is before Martin was actually the bass player. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. I think the beginning of Profanity was at the end of '93. And it was a completely different lineup back in the days. It was this maybe was a little bit of one of the problems, I would say, with the music. It was a mixture of death metal, melodic death metal, maybe also some parts of slightly black metal stuff. But this just came up because of the mixture of all these different band members, and for myself, I always wanted to go in the brutal technical way. This was sure for me from the starting point of Profanity, but at this time it was really hard to find the right members, the peoples, and who were listening to the same style of this technical, brutal death metal, I would say. In '93, releases like the Monstrosity, I have to say, just blew my mind. And I can remember sawing the first time Final Cremation. This was a song with, of course, Corpse Grinder on vocals. And this came out on this Nuclear Blast video edition, and I know this is the music I want to do with Profanity, and also bands like Vader, Cannibal Corpse, Death. Yeah, but as I said before, it was not easy to find the right people. So we did this kind of music, and of course, everybody had the chance to bring in their influences and their stuff, what they want to do. So it came up that we released finally 2 demos, but the music has not really much to do like Profanity sounds today. It was the starting point of Profanity, and we made the demos all by ourselves, and we recorded all the 2 demos. We did 2 demos all also by ourselves. We bought some equipment, and we also recorded all the demo tapes at home in my childhood room, hours for hours, and endless work. And I think it was 95, yeah, about 95. And I also was in contact with Martin, and I knew he was just the right guy for Profanity and for this kind of music. And we were talking a lot about before we got together in this band, before Martin started to play bass guitar in Profanity, and he was just like the same freak like me. We were both into especially Cannibal Corpse at this time, Death, and Suffocation. Yes, I of course have to say Suffocation.
Yeah,
definitely.
And what kind of metal was most popular in Germany at this time?
Pardon? Can you say it again, please?
Yeah, what kind of metal was the most popular form of metal in Germany when you were starting the band?
I would say bands like Running Wild, except as what concerns the German bands, Halloween. Martin, can you add something?
Yeah, when you talk about German bands, as Tom said, you had these speed thrash bands, Running Wild, Rage, couple of these ones. But I think in 1991, from there, all these big classic albums, as we have them now, started to grow. You have Death, you have Cannibal Corpse, Pestilence, all these ones. So I think that big wave, the death metal wave, that took us as individuals from all the typical thrashy, Megadeth, all these Manowar, Skyclad, whatever, these bands, into the death metal direction. And from there, once you have that, you can't let go. If you're into that, if you have that death metal gene, you're addicted. And this is where we got, I reckon all of us here, injected by death metal.
Yep.
And from that was just a matter of time to find the right people. Okay, we all had similar backgrounds, except Running Wild and all these bands, AC/DC. For myself, Alice Cooper, Ozzy, or God knows what, these softer bands. And then that wave of death metal came. And as Tom said, and I think that changed heaps for the people. They were just waiting for that at that time. Maybe had no idea, that's exactly what we want, what we needed, what we want to do in future. But yeah, that was an awesome time.
I wonder what it is like. There's probably a few aspects to it, but there's something, like you were saying, like there's this transitional like point where something clicks or you get injected enough dosage to where all of a sudden you lean over to the other side and it's just downhill. I'm fucking picking up. I'm doing death metal every day. That's all I'm going to listen to. That's all I'm going to talk about. That's all I'm like, when's the next show? Like there's something that happens. No matter where we're at in the world, that happens. You get to a certain point where everything's just not enough. And then you get to death metal and you're like, oh yeah, that's what's satisfying my hunger for this type of music.
Absolutely. I can remember, and Martin and we are talking about so often about this. We met very often in my childhood room, and back then, of course, I lived at my parents' house. I was 15 or 16 years old, I think it was, and my completely room was full of posters with Carcass, Paradise Lost, and so we tried to meet as often as possible. And Martin brought his bass guitar with him, and so we tried out to write songs for at this time for our first release, Shadows to Fall, and we discovered very fast that this is such a big playground this music has to offer. And I can say, pierced from within, from suffocation. I have to talk about this release.
Go for it, dude. We love to talk about it too, dude. It's a fucking masterpiece.
Absolutely. This is such a great example for how many twists and turns you can go with music, and there is no wrong and no right. And we were so passionate about this release, and this was taking us, and we said, wow, man, we can do whatever we want to do. So let's add here another riff, another tones. Let's do whatever we want to do. And this is total freedom. And I think this is also maybe one of the main reasons we are loving death metal so much, because you can do whatever you want to do with this kind of music. And this is just phenomenal for me. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. No boundaries is the best way to get, creative.
Yes.
I mean, there's boundaries within extent, but death metal, it's a wide open space that you can play around in for sure.
I just
go ahead.
I'll just jump in real fast. Like listening to your new album and stuff, I was like, man, there's so many like cool original ideas. Like it was so like, this is like different than, it's still death metal. I mean, it's in the same genre and everything, but you guys have so many cool, like just original things, sounds. I like it. It's really cool.
A lot of the licks.
It's like, I haven't heard that before, Yeah.
On the second track of that album, there's those licks in that song, dude. Just I'm like, yeah, I'm like this in the truck. I'm like, giving me like that death feel, but at the same time, like Casey was saying, it's there, and it stays within the tech death realm, but it's got like that little pizzazz in there that gives it that unique little profanity feel.
First of all, thank you very much for your kind words, and this to hear makes us very, 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 very happy, because I just could say maybe mission accomplished. I don't know. This, I think, as an artist, this is the best thing that could happen, that people are telling you your music is good. I really enjoy listening to your music. It gives me a special feeling when I'm listening to it. And what else do you want more as an artist?
Exactly.
I think one of the best compliments you just can get. And for Fragments of Solace, the songs, I have to say, some years ago, we were discussing often about what style do we play? Is it brutal death metal? Is it technical death metal? Or is it maybe just extreme music? And so we went going on with the title technical death metal. But I think at the end of the day, I would say it's just extreme music. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. So
Is there much,
we're jumping forward. Wait,
I was gonna say, is there much profanity in your lyrics? I was trying to look up lyrics just now, just trying to look for lyrics. I couldn't find them. I was like looking for cuss words. I
think
Oh,
it's
really?
the other use of profanity, like, speech against religious doctrine. Is that the meaning of the band name?
Nice.
What concerns the name? We were searching for a band name at 93. I was 16 years old. Yes, I was 16 years old, and I just took my English dictionary, and then I came to profanity. Okay, this sounds cool. Let's take the name. And that's it.
That's how most
That's the
band
way you do it in Europe,
I mean, band names are always those things that are super hard to find. I mean, especially nowadays because there's so many are taken. But yeah, I think to land on a band name, and luckily, there wasn't that much taken back then. You guys had pretty free range, and I think Profanity is a great name. It's catchy. Like first time I heard it, I just remember it's memorable, and like I'm actually kind of jealous. I don't know where I was going with that.
So yeah, do you want to talk about, or does anyone want to talk about kind of the fact that you have kind of two periods in the band's history, that there's some releases from 97 and 2000, and then a break up until the Artist Sickness album and the EPs leading up to it. So how did the band history go from this early period to the later period of productivity?
Yeah, of course. I think I can start. Maybe, of course, or better, of course, Martin can also add then something. It was a very furious time from, I would say, 97 until 2000. Yeah, we released Shadows to Fall in, I think it was in 97. And then we got a record deal with a German record label, Capsule Agency. And our first work together with them was the split EP with Lividity. And this was released on vinyl, which was super awesome for us at this time. And in 2000, we released the Slaughtering Thoughts full-length studio album, and this was also released by the German record label Capsule Agency. And as I said, or why this was a furious time, we played so many shows. At some point, we felt maybe this is a bit too much, because of course we played all the shows mostly on weekends, because we had all our normal day jobs, 40 hours per week. And there were years we played around 50 shows. So almost on every weekend, just got back home on Friday from work, jumped into the little van we had back then, and we went to shows. And 2002, we got the absolute awesome opportunity to go on European tour with Cryptopsy, and this was such an absolutely awesome opportunity for us. And we definitely needed to do this. There was no doubt about it. And we went with Cryptopsy, Hemorrhage, Spawn on this European tour in 2002, and we did about 24 dates, and this was just insane. But we also felt after this tour a little bit of a kind of a burnt out feeling, because we knew this was maybe too much, also besides our normal day jobs. And we also had, I would say, some problems with writing new material due to this extreme schedule, or why we played so many shows. And so it came in 2004 that we play played there our last show on the Maryland Death Fest. Some days before, we had the awesome opportunity to play New York with Misery Index, Exhumed, and Uphill Battle. And we spent 1 week there, all in all, and absolutely awesome. And
what year was that, Thomas?
Pardon?
What year was that when you played the Maryland Death Fest?
2004.
2004. I was there.
Yeah. Okay.
I was there. I was at the first two. 2002,
I remember.
2004.
Saw you. Yep. Remember you.
Yeah. I think I did. If you guys watched the Vomit Remnant set, you would have seen me on stage for a quick song. I did one song with Vomit.
We took some pictures with Vomit Remnants with Taisuke.
Yeah, Keisuke. Shout out Keisuke and Takanori. He's not the vocalist anymore, but super, super good weekend with those dudes. Super, super nice guys for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also love death metal. Those guys breathe death metal. That's all that they. I remember they were like way more into talking death metal than even me and my buddy Dan. And me and Dan talked about it all the fucking time, dude. But that's all they wanted to talk about.
Are they still going?
Yeah, I think there's like a reincarnation of it going with Keisuke on drums. I mean, obviously before the pandemic they were doing some stuff, but I don't know what their plans are now. But yeah, dude, those guys, super cool dudes. I had a great weekend with them. That's all I wanted to add to that.
I saw the pictures you posted to Facebook from the band account of Profanity in Times Square.
Yeah.
So you
great
visited, yeah.
Yes, great memories. Unfortunately, it was only the first or the one and only time we got the chance to play in the States. Hopefully soon we can play there again somewhere.
That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah. So after we came back from Maryland Death Fest, we decided to make a break from playing live shows because we wanted to write new songs, and we wrote new songs. All in all, the writing process went on until 2006. But then I would say the normal life just took place because for myself, I got married. I decided to go back to school, to go to school besides my work. But all the material was already done. Yeah. And our drummer Armin also decided to go back to school. And so this lets us to the year 2010. We all still felt the fire was still burning, of course. Yeah, because as like we said some minutes before, once you are infected with death metal, there's no way out.
Of course.
Yep. And making it too. It's like creating in general, dude. And you got the drive to do it. You're never going to stop doing it.
Yes.
You take your breaks and stuff, but then it'll be calling you back.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was what happened in 2010. I was done with my school. Armin was ready. Martin also. And we decided, hey, guys, let's move on with Profanity. There is still some music we have to record. We want to show to the people. And then we decided to do an EP. This EP was called Hatred, Hell Within. And the reason for this EP was because Martin got the chance to move to Australia. And at this point of time, we already had recorded 3 songs, and we had some discussions. What shall we do now? And so we decided to release an EP with 3 songs of this material from 60 minutes we already had done. And we went on with our bass player Daniel at this time, and we recorded then the remaining songs from this 60-hour material which we had left for the Art of Sickness release. Yeah, and this release came out in 2017. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And during that time, did you start listening to Decrepit Birth a lot? Because I see the poster on the wall just peeping out there, the And Time Begins poster behind you. There it is. And I can hear the DB influence on all the new material. So just wondering.
I totally love Decrepit Birth. Yeah, Matt is an awesome guitar player and also a great influence for my style of playing, for the music of Profanity, and especially their latest release, Axis Mundi, a masterpiece. And so we are absolutely proud to have him also with a guest solo on our new release, Fragments of Solace, Towards the Sun. And I reached out to him, do you want to do a guest solo for this new Profanity? And we wrote back and forth. And so one day his recordings came and we just couldn't believe it. Oh man, this is awesome. Yeah, a great honor for us.
Hell yeah.
Definitely.
Was he the only guy that did the guests on there? Was there other people that did guests on the album as well?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm letting them tell us, okay? Jesus.
For the ones who don't know.
God. Oh, so who else was on the album on the last release? Who else guested on it?
Lukas, would you like to tell?
Yeah, was Matt Sotelo with the solo. Then the incredible Dave Suzuki.
Oh wow.
He did an insane solo. Then we had guest vocals from Dima Orlov from Russia. And the last one, I think the last one was Terence Hobbs of Suffocation, who did a solo which was nonetheless insane than the other stuff. I really had the feeling that every one of these guys put a lot of effort into their guest appearances, and it was a pleasure to mix that stuff, because it just fell into grid and bam, it was there. It just worked super easy.
Dealing with professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get Terence? How did that situation unfold?
We know Terence since many years. We had some opportunities to play also, or to share stage with Suffocation several times, and I don't know what to say. I just can say Terence is the man.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Yeah,
in many ways, dude. I mean, his riffs basically like paved the way for hundreds of bands, dude.
Yeah,
his right hand is still one of my favorite like picking hands that's ever existed.
Especially in the brutal death genre, you can actually say that everything already has been said with Effigy.
Yeah,
everything that came after was like minimum spicing, but that is it. That's the blueprint.
Yep. That comes up pretty much every podcast. It all goes back to Suffocation, pretty much.
Yeah, it does.
But I mean, it's just
and everything
for it to come up every podcast with all these different, musicians, and now we got 4 different countries of people going on one podcast, and we all agree on the same thing. It's just there's no denying it,
No. They sounded so different already in these times than all the other American death metal bands, especially the Florida scene, had a totally different style. Well, like, to me, a little bit more like evil sounding, the satanic thing and everything.
Yeah.
Especially when you get like D-side or stuff, and Suffocation. That's a totally different feeling of how tonality wise and everything. It just sounded like just like. It sounds like weightlifting.
It's like brutal sophistication.
Yeah.
Brutal as fuck, but like smart and sophisticated.
Yeah.
It's wild, dude. And that's why we fucking love it. So I want to know when the Unique Leader stuff started getting into your guys' radar. Like, what year was that? Like Deeds of Flesh and Disgorge. When did you guys come across all the Cali bands?
To me, that was pretty late because I was a little younger. And when I started out listening to death metal, it was mainly Florida in the beginning. But also these New York, Florida connected bands, like Malevolent Creation, Cannibal Corpse, of course, and that stuff. Listen to a lot of Malevolent Creation. And a little later, when I was digging into like more insane stuff, I think I would go into Deeds of Flesh, where then I think it was Path of the Weakening. I was listening to this album for days, I think, until I caught a cold or something, and I thought I've been listening so much to this sick music that I got sick. I skipped it for a few weeks again, but it was a little bit later. I can't tell the year. It wouldn't matter because it has been way after these records have actually been released.
That's so funny. That's a funny thing that you say that, because it's like, you really think like if you put all your focus into one thing for several days, then everything else gets put on the back burner, even the way your body works, your immune system actually is like, all right, I'm going to just fucking give up because this guy is just paying way too much to fucking Deeds of Flesh. We got to put all the energy in the brain to absorb all that Deeds of Flesh for several days. We don't have all the energy for the rest of the
body just gives up,
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Not getting sick, but that's awesome that you Deeds of Flesh.
But it was for the cause. It was all for the cause, So
hell yeah.
So Lukas, did you record the new album at your studio? And can you tell us a little bit about
partially. Partially. The recording was it was recorded in different places. Tom recorded the DIs for the guitars, and of course I recorded the bass here. The plan was also to record the drums at my facility, but then COVID happened before, but everything seemed like no problem. But then they came up with this ridiculous nonsense of closing inner European borders, like for don't know how long. Nobody knew it. We just knew, okay, the border is closed now. The drum recording date is in a month or something. What we're gonna do? And I said to the boys, as much as it hurts me, but you have to get a facility in Germany to record the drum set, because we don't know if the border is gonna be open. Then it's closed again now since half a year. And I told you before that Germany is like 200 meters that way from here, and I can't go over there. Like, so this is the first time ever this happened. Even before the European Union, it wasn't a problem at all to cross the border. You didn't even have to show your ID. Nobody cared. Now it's closed. We're not allowed to go 200 meters sideways. So crazy shit. And then this, they closed the border, and we had to figure something out. And then they came up with a facility, and I had a telephone call with the owner and engineer there, and we just checked everything out. I told him, like this and like that, and he said, it's got like this and like that, and everything worked out fine. So it wasn't a problem, but we would have recorded the drums at this facility here, like we did for the Sinister split. We recorded the drums at my place. But the closed border got in the way. But other than that, then I did the whole reamping, recorded my vocals here and stuff, and then I did the mixing and mastering at this facility. Where the guys came over for reamping. That was in a brief period of time when the border was open again, and we were lucky. So Tom brought his amp, and we used one of my amps for the other side of for the second guitar, and we did the reamping and checked out drum tracks and everything, and then I started mixing right after.
Okay. And I just wanted to ask Martin about the lyrics. Can you talk a little about how you're inspired to write the lyrics that you write and what they're about?
Sure. It's like the previous album. Normally I ask Tom, I want to hear the music first. I like to see the cover artwork, the music. For sure we speak about the cover and this and that and what do you have in your mind and the artist at the end, but this is it's giving me a huge impact. And at the same time, I like to hear the music. It's like back in the days when you bought your, I don't know, Nocturnus, or what's that threshold? You study the cover and you listen to the music and you make your own movie a little bit. Mm-hmm. Or the old Dan Seagrave covers and things like that. So it's pretty much the same with that one here. As soon as I had it and parallel listening to the music, okay, I have an idea, this and that and that and that. In general, Profanity lyrics, I reckon it's like the band. We're not an image band. It's really all about the music. So the lyrics, they have to put an extra weight to support the music. It's not like, can you have something shocking or out of ordinary? We're not a splatter war band. We're not a religious politician, blah, blah stuff. Nothing at all. The lyrics, they have to fit and support the music, and they're very simple. It's all about everyday stories. It's not really, how should I say? For sure, they have their weight, and it's about personal things. It's about, for example, for me, leaving Germany, going to Australia. There's still some links in the song Where Forever Starts, for example. Disputed territory, prognate of the place, that might be the bushfires in Australia, things like that. The autopsy, that's a funny one. That's the only one where Tom said, oh, I have Untitled. That song is a little bit special, and depending on that, I don't want to say too much about it. It's probably someone on Lukas to say it. Reckless Souls, for example, is something. These days with the social media, you have everything available about how much you share. Everything is there forever, and you have unborn people, and everything is available from day one or even earlier. Yeah? The parents, they're making photos of the ultrasound and God knows what, and everything is there. So all that information, and is that good or bad? I don't know. When they're older, 20 years old, they're looking back, and there's a wide range of data available about them. Who is using that, for example? There's really everyday stories. Towards the Sun, that's something about someone who's getting very fast, very high in his career. I'm assuming we all know people, oh, that was my boss, that was someone else, and they're all doing that to get up, and they're all doing that to look down, to get high, things like that. And it's all part of the personal, also as a band, experiences we made, but never in a way with lots of blood and gore and God knows what. For sure, it's death metal. Death metal, I can't write about sunflowers or something. Probably you could, but it won't fit the music.
I actually did talk about flowers on the last album.
Okay. Yeah.
Why not?
No, I'm actually. What I was waiting for you to finish just to say that I really enjoy, taking the struggles of yourself or just humans in general and metaphorically incorporating it into an extreme style of music, because it really is something that I rid myself of young in my career, which is writing the gore lyrics. I might every once in a while sprinkle it in there, but it has a meaning. There's a purpose for it to be there. Everything has to have a purpose in the music. And I like Easter eggs and I like metaphors. And I probably said that way too many fucking times on this podcast already, but I really do like that style of writing where you're taking something that everybody is experiencing, the climb to the top in a career, and who gets elbowed on the way up, that's happened with so many people. But obviously you're not saying it just that way. You find a artistic or creative way to explain these same things, because really, like we just said with Effigy, it's already been done. Everything's already been written. Everything. So it's like, how are we going to be able to express these same things that we all do feel like we want to express, because they are important things to the human in general, but it's cool to like just find new ways to explain it and actually hide it too. I like to hide shit in the words, you know. I don't know if you guys do. I don't know if you hide little things. Even like I was telling these guys, there's a few things hidden on the last album that only I know about. Do you guys ever do stuff like that, or did you do that with your lyrics at all?
Yes.
But I won't tell you.
Yeah, see, that's what I love about it. That's what it's.
Look, it's like you play computer games. What is it called? The Easter eggs or something. There are things, and going back, it has to fit the music. And I believe we all here, it's not like we are evil and God knows what. For sure, sometimes you have to pose a little bit, especially on stage, and that's all part of it. It's all that makes it, that's death metal. But there's always, pretty much in all the lyrics, a positive thing. And I believe that's the link to the music. Because for me, the death metal, especially the new Profanity one, and I can say that with a little bit distance, because I was playing one song and the rest was for me like from a fan view. Wow, that's awesome. The music that gives me so much energy, really positive energy. I'm not walking away like, oh, I'm not super grumpy or more aggro or God knows what. It's really the positive feeling. And this is also what I try to put into the lyrics. There's always, for sure, you have these heavy things, the way that, wow, that's, if you want, you can think about it and wow, that's pretty tough, but there's always a link to a happy end if you want so. I think that's the same with the music. After listening to, I don't know, let's say Cynic or Death or God knows what, and for me it's that same feeling with Profanity. I'm happy at the end, and that's. I remember as a teenager, you have the Human from Death, and when that came out, wow, that's awesome, that's new. Okay, I lie in my bed with headphones and listening just to the music, and again and again and again. And every time when I took the headphones off, that feels good. That's awesome. And I think that's the kind of lyric I try to get into Profanity as well, to support the music, not to take the Profanity into, I don't know, as I said, gore or splatter or God knows what. It has to fit Profanity. And
it fits the feeling that you're getting from it too, which makes that just as it's just like as meaningful. Like throwing just random lyrics on that. I'm glad that you say that you listen to the music well before you actually write lyrics for it, because people could just be like, I got a booklet of lyrics here, this will be some words that'll work with that, you know. And I mean, we've done that, and you know, throughout our careers making shit too, but like listening to a song and really getting the feeling from it is actually a great way to send you on a way to find what you're going to talk about in that song. Yeah.
Agree. I mean, when I heard the first few seconds of Where Forever Starts, I knew exactly, okay, that can be only that kind of lyric. It must be a heavy thing. It must be something personal, but everyone can see themselves. You go from one point to the other. You also can read a little bit more about Australian history, about the Stolen Nation, about that, where people got taking away kids from their families, because of, okay, we want to show you the world how we think it should be, and years and years later, these people coming back and they, okay, that I haven't seen my kids, my parents for 20, 30, 40 years or something. And being a parent, you think, just thinking about that, it makes you sick. If I would, my kids get taken away, and then when I'm old and gray, good, I'm nearly there. I see them again, and when they don't recognize me as my father, as her father, and their father, and things like that. It's really heavy. But I tried to put that into something with hope at the end. And so the music is heavy. It's brutal. The lyrics, they have to fit exactly to that. It can be a little bit sad, but there's always hope at the end.
Hell yeah, dude. And to get into the writing of the music, that feeling of getting that positive vibe from it, I get that same vibe from listening to the music as well. So Thomas and whoever was involved in writing this whole album, is that kind of like the idea you guys had going into this, like with a pause, let's have have like a more like positive aspect to our album? Is that like or did it just happen along the way just because of how everybody was in their life at that time?
I would say it just happened because for all us guys in Profanity, our death metal is positive. It has nothing to do with negative. For myself, when I sit here and practicing guitar, I just feel happy and not angry. Yeah.
And also, like we've vibed on like our personal lives too, Thomas. And I could tell that you are happy where you're at, you know, because we've talked about our personal, you know, being dads and stuff like that. Like that's knowing that about you, and then listening to the music and listening to the riffs. Like it, maybe I don't know if it influences the way I listen to it well, but I definitely feel what Martin's talking about feeling exhilarated and happy after listening to a profanity song. So it's just like, it's the way it's like a language speaking that you're speaking, you know, I could feel that it's in your riffs. That's all I'm saying. I don't feel like evil when I'm listening to profanity. I'm like, I'm literally like cruising in my truck. Like I'm going to work today, guys.
So maybe this is a good music when you go to work or before you go to work.
You got coffee. You're ready to go.
It's audio coffee.
Audio coffee, dude. It's got profanity's got a little bit of caffeine in it.
What have you? So you said you hid stuff in the lyrics. What are you talking about, dude? Would you like? Do you sneak the word fart in there somewhere, or what did you hide in your lyrics?
If you want to, yeah, like
we hit actual farts in the music.
Yeah, it's just like,
I think that's a bass guitar you're hearing there, but
yeah,
maybe you have to rethink that.
It's an auto-tuned fart.
No, dude, but if you want to go through the lyrics, I might even hit some shit about you in there, dude. I don't know.
It's old Joel Socks. Just anyways, I just want to, you got tell me off the air what your secrets are.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even remember. Even if you were to quiz me right now, I couldn't give them all. But yeah. All right, enough about my shit, guys. We're here for profanity, dude.
I have one more question, which is, you guys decided to go independent with this last album. Can you talk about the decision and how it's playing out for you guys? And this compares to the last album, which was on a label, I believe, right?
Yeah. I think it came up pretty naturally, I would say, this decision to do all by ourselves, because we are used to do all by ourselves since, I would say, the very starting point of Profanity, and back in the days with sending out demos and going several times to the post office and sending out letters with flyers and stuff. And and now with all the possibilities you have with DistroKid and Bandcamp, and so this is just a very good way to promote your band and to get your music out. And we also were sending out some new songs to some labels, but to be honest, we didn't get any reply. Yeah, and so we decided to do all by ourselves and to go on independently. Yeah, and I think, or not, I just think, I know we are very happy with this fact.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys promoted it very well yourself. Like, we all found out about it because you guys were like personally reaching out to us, and that was very cool. I will say the best way to get anyone to listen to your music is go on their podcast, because that is honestly what made me dive into the whole discography. So thanks for coming on, so I could actually like do a deep dive to be prepared today. And I just wanted to again say how stoked I am on the new album. And your guitar work, you have so many cool going between brutal low riffing and then all this amazing sweep picking, but it's never like you go too far on either side. It's like back and forth so often. It's so ingrained. And so I guess the same, like you never, you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, it never goes too far into one side of that kind of equation. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this was something I really tried to approach. I grow up with the music from the 90s, and as you know, I love bands like Suffocation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I also have to add for sure Hate Eternal, and also the sound on all these albums. This is sounding very natural, and we wanted to transport this sound from these years into the here and now, but also mix it up with our own vision of extreme music. And I totally like do this technical guitar stuff, but it has to be a tool, and it doesn't have to be too much of this. It has to be like salt your eat. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
And to get a good mixture or combination of this, I would say, past and present. This what we try to achieve also with this new record. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds super fresh, and it has all the ingredients of classic and modern death metal in a nice mix. So you were alluding to maybe touring again in the future. Is that true? Are you guys in a position where you're able to?
Yeah, whenever touring starts again.
Whenever touring starts, obviously. So,
and we really can't tell when it's going to be like back to regular touring. Of course, it looks like in summer it will be possible to do like outdoor shows or maybe some with distancing and but like a regular club tour, like small clubs. I don't know. It's probably gonna happen next year, but probably not for us, because I fear most of the spots in the next year are already taken by the big agencies, you know, because only these tours that should have happened in 2020 are gonna have been postponed to 2022 now. So everything is more or less full. We're absolutely open for touring. We of course we want to tour. Short before doing Fragments of Solace, we had a tour planned with Suffocation, but they had to be canceled because of health issues. And we would absolutely love to do that as soon as possible, of course. But I'm being realistic here. It's gonna be really hard to get a spot on a tour now for a small band like us, you know.
Definitely going to go more DIY underground. Yeah. I mean, the underground just got set back a little bit, but it's not going anywhere. The underground's still going to bubble back up. It's going to come back.
I think
cracks.
I can imagine this whole thing strengthens DIY shows and underground shows itself. I'm positive about that, but that's only so far. You can go with DIY and underground shows. It's like because it has a geographical range. You know, if you're on tour, you can cover a lot of geographical range. But with weekenders, it's only so far you can go. For us, it's like it would be like if we have like 2 or 3 shows in one weekend, we could like cover maybe 500 kilometers or something. You know? So we're not gonna get very far outside of Germany, maybe Austria, maybe France, you know, or Eastern Europe, but that's it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely going to be a trip getting back into all that stuff, but at least we never stop making it. You know, we're always going to be making the music, dude. That's one thing that I say every time on this podcast too, I can't wait to see what everybody's been doing for the last year. And when everybody finally gets out all those projects that they've been working on, you know, all the collaborations that have probably happened because of stuff like this, you know, Zoom jams and stuff that we don't even know about with sick players and, you know, all that stuff. I'm excited for that. And yeah, I know the live thing's going to be weird, but I just always, that we've been talking positivity. I always have a positive attitude towards, like, it's resilient stuff that we do in our careers. We make resilient music because it's lasted this long from its birth.
Yeah, definitely. I'm being optimistic about the whole scene and everything that's and I would love to see the underground having grown stronger through that through these dull times that we're having now. And yeah, I'm pretty optimistic that it's gonna be better. Maybe, you know, like more like DIY communities coming up again, like it used to be when I started out playing live. You know, a lot of communities were setting up shows just for the personal pleasure. There was no money in it. And
things will definitely go more local for a while, for sure.
Yeah, and like these communities like doing maybe two shows a year in their city, and that's it. And then putting all their heart and effort in it. And
maybe the live streaming thing might be a good thing for the underground. You know, more thing for kind of like a way to keep it going until we finally can get some venues that want to take the underground tours again. And I think that there's going to be new dudes or chicks or anybody out there that's going to want to start new businesses and open up new venues that have these, you know, that came from our scene or before our scene and stuff, that are going to be like, we need to do something. And see that as a good business opportunity when everything starts rolling again.
And every crisis has this thing, you know, the old stuff, sometimes it gets washed away a little bit and gives room for new guys to girls to pick up the torch, you know, and carry it on.
The live streaming stuff is like, the live streaming stuff is definitely, it's the reason why I think a lot of bands aren't doing it. Matt kind of alluded to it on the Cryptopsy episode, is that it's expensive to get, you know, all that stuff together. I think shout out to Joel Cupcake. I was on his podcast the other day, but he did a live stream. He's like a promoter, a local promoter. He does all the bookings, all the shows around here. He actually had a live concert that he put on that people could buy tickets for. And I think the idea maybe is for the local promoters or something to put it on themselves and charge tickets, like they're doing and like set up the equipment and everything. Because small bands and stuff, they can't, you know, like bands like Leprous and stuff have government help right now for arts and stuff like that. And a lot of bands don't have that. A lot of bands have to come out of pocket for this. So I'm calling out all promoters. They should
adapt.
I think it's up to them really to maybe put on a show, put on 4 bands, you know, it doesn't have to be just one band's live stream. But I mean, I think hopefully in the next few months, I mean, last night I watched a UFC, the MMA fighting thing, and it was the first event it had a full capacity crowd yesterday. It was 17.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video of Deicide playing in Florida. Like,
yeah. It's coming back. It's just
I was very surprised to see that, actually, because here in Europe, unthinkable.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we've had a couple Montreal bands. Florida. Yeah. Florida's kind of a wild west around. They don't really get
south.
Yeah, exactly.
Southeast.
Yeah, I mean, we heard about Montreal and actually, I think Joseph, were you talking about?
Yeah, it was on Joel Cupcake's Twitch that they streamed but it was a free show last night. So,
but didn't you have like a friend that was from China or something that it might have been you telling me this story, where they basically they left like their city and they literally have a sensor on their door that if they leave, they get arrested or something. Was that you that told me that?
I didn't tell you that story.
One of my friends, I had a party last night. So someone here yesterday was telling me that literally that they're living in China, and that the government's, because our government's pretty relaxed compared to, like, I hear Montreal, like if you're out past 8 p.m. you're getting a $5,000 fine, like a ridiculous fine, and they're like serious about it. Like here, they're like, they're not, they're look at us as kind of like a joke compared to what they have to go through. And I know Europe's a lot crazier, but yeah, they said a friend of a friend in China, like literally, if they leave their house, like the censor will tell the cops to come get them. Like,
yeah, but that's a dictatorship, and
Yeah.
it's not a big surprise. Things are getting handled like this in China.
yeah.
Actually, it isn't that strict here in Europe. In Austria, we have we have a curfew at, I think, 8 p.m. But there's so many exceptions from this curfew. You can't. One of the exceptions is like you can leave the house if you really can't cope anymore. That's one of the exceptions, more or less.
Like you're about to lose your shit. Get the fuck out of your house.
They ask you,
it's
like, I just really want to go.
If they catch you outside on the streets and they say, "What the hell are you doing outside?" It's curfew. I mean, it never happened to me, but if it would happen, and they ask you, "What are you doing?" You said, "Yeah, dude, I just couldn't cope anymore in my flat. It was I had to go for a walk." And then, okay, see ya. That's it. So no fines or anything.
Yeah. You're just like, no, dude, I did it against your will. I just want to piss you off, so give me a ticket.
Yeah.
And what I know, like, this is what better band than Deicide to just say fuck it and just go for it.
The
first band.
And I really enjoyed that stream. It was really a cool show. I mean, I love Deicide. Like, it's one of my favorite death metal bands, I have to admit.
I have to make an admission. I've never seen Deicide.
Me
I've
neither.
Seen every other band. I've seen Morbid Angel 1,000 times. I've seen Cannibal 1,000 times. Just for whatever reason, I've never seen Deicide. And I'm actually going. They're coming on. They're doing a full U.S. tour, and they're coming here in August. So I'm definitely going.
I probably already mentioned it before, but my first death metal show ever was Morbid Angel Deicide at the Pound, and like,
damn, what a lineup!
I know. Wow.
So it was my first. My first. It was Morbid headlining Deicide right on, or they may have been. Oh, it was a dual night thing. That's what they were doing. 2 nights in a row.
Oh, okay.
And I got the Dragon Lord Soylent Green night. I guess they had different openers each, but yeah, I think Deicide might have headlined that night. Either way, dude, it was just like a download of evil into my 15, 16-year-old brain, dude.
Hell yeah.
Can you remember when it was? Which year was it?
It had to have been 2002. So no, maybe it wasn't.
2000 maybe. 2000
because I was 16. I was old enough to drive, but I wasn't friends with Dan Kenny yet. I mean, I was, but we were just acquaintances. Like, we didn't go. I was with some different people, and actually the dude who actually introduced me to death metal in general. But yeah, it was. So 2000 it had to have been. There was
hell of a show to start out with, man. My first show I can remember was Dismember.
Sick.
In Austria. I think it was 1998, because I was 14 years old. My daddy gave me a ride, and
nice.
He also watched the show because he wanted to see what this shit is all about.
Yeah.
And then it was Dismember headlining. I think it was Children of Bodom opening.
Oh wow.
If I might be wrong, and it was also Gorgoroth playing, and my daddy afterwards he said, yeah, I hope by now you should know it's just Satanist propaganda, right?
That's a good thing for his dad.
All right.
To say.
Well, it was an awesome show. Man, Dismember, awesome live band. But of course, here in Europe, the chance to see European bands is of course way higher, and the other way around. Seeing Deicide in Europe is a rare treat. Back in the days, way more than it is now, of course, because so many American bands were Europe.
I'm planning on traveling over, maybe catching you guys should do like the Brutal Assault Fest or something. I want to go see one of those like European festivals. Like that was my plan.
Brutal Assault is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was my plan last year, was just to go. I mean, we got the Decrepit. When I was in Decrepit, we played Death Feast open air, and awesome. But I want to see like one of those like mega like those Brutal Assaults, or
that's what you guys have on us that we don't have over here.
Parties that we have a lot of big festivals. It's coming up in the States, right? But it was like these big festivals. We already had them in the 90s. I remember like my first big festival was like 15 and 16, and there was Slayer headlining, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, all that stuff, you know. And then also in the afternoon, we watch Obituary. Yeah, it was crazy lineups.
Yeah, here we get the festivals here, but it's more mainstream popular bands like they'll throw, you know, there'll be like 2 bands you want to see, but then there's like then My Chemical Romance comes on or something, and you're like,
we got these kind of festivals here too, but we got a lot of specialized festivals like Partisan, which you probably heard about, which is like extreme metal based, and of course Brutal Assault, which is huge, and then but a lot of small ones who are absolutely awesome, like In Flammen Open Air. We played a few years ago. It was who was it headlining it? I think it was Marduk, right?
Yeah,
Marduk was, and it was Valenfire playing awesome lineup again, like but they're really small and very very familiar, familiar kind of feeling, you know.
Yeah, that's I mean that's the mecca over there is for metal is
totally. It's a privilege. In Europe, you can go like 10 festivals a year, and it's all packed with awesome stuff. That's a treat of living here. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen tour flyers for Europe, and I'm like, what the fuck? Come here. What the hell? Like that's like a stacked lineup. Like that's like a legitimate lineup. Like I would almost travel, I would get in a plane to go see, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you would have like a hard time getting food or going to take a leak or shit at the festival because there's too many bands you don't want to
Absolutely. I remember my first With Full Force festival when I was like 15, I think, or something, and we literally would make a schedule for us to see all these bands. You know, that festival was a special kind of festival because it mixed all that hardcore stuff with also hardcore and punk, and we were all into all these styles back then. It was really like, okay, now it's this band, and then they're like 10 minutes into the set of the other band going over, you know, and then there plays a shitty band. We have like time to eat, and then go over and again. Then there are the theme nights. And then you got like the first theme night was a Friday night, was called Knuppernacht, which means like something like was a Knupper, club night, but I mean like clubbing, you know?
Yeah.
Clubbing somebody. And it was only blast beats the whole night. It was starting, I think, at 12 at midnight, and then you had blast beats until 6 in the morning. I remember watching Napalm Death when the sun came out. Belfegor playing when I was already in bed, you know. It was insane.
Oh, dude, that sounds amazing though. If you're a young metalhead, just like ready for it all, dude. Just like
it was crazy.
Taking a
15,
nap
16 years old
minute before you go catch fucking deicide.
I love that kind of setup where I mean, you know, they weren't that good at bands, like I said earlier, like where it'd be like a Mayhem Festival or an Ozfest, where it would be there's 2 stages side by side, and it would just be like band playing, okay, band done, band playing. And it would just be like bam, 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 and just like constant. There's no like downtime.
Not much travel time, travel. You know, You
got to go like 50 yards to the right, and you're right in front of another.
Was that
band,
the same?
you know what I mean?
We were all when Dillinger and Body Count played. Were we all? Was that the one you're talking about?
It wasn't Dillinger, but
well, Dillinger was on that same fest. Maybe it wasn't Dillinger, but it was like we were watching. Fuck, I know. We were watching one band on this stage, and then immediately it was like Body Count was playing.
Well, you'd be watching one band, and then you'd look over on the right, and then you'd see like the logos and stuff going up for the band you really want to see. You're like, fuck, okay, they're getting towards the last song. Let's go, like get a spot.
Joseph and I went to Ozfest a few years ago, and it was like we watched Suffocation, and then it was Fallujah, right? And then it was Possessed. And so we saw all 3 of those on one stage. Then we go over there. Then we watch Creator on another stage.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Like it was sick, dude.
That's a
pretty. And then we watched Children of Bodom on the main stage, and like it was insane, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of good bands that night.
Eye on Fire. There were a few more good bands. Yeah. Ozzy, obviously.
Yeah.
Did you guys see this year's lineup for the Death Feast Festival here in Germany?
No.
Did you see?
I'm gonna take a look right now.
It's crazy.
Let's screen share it. Somebody screen share it right now.
Death Feast.
Maybe if some of you can find the flyer. I remember that it's pretty sick.
When I say somebody, I was just throwing it out to the resident homies.
That's like a small festival, actually.
There we go.
Yeah, here we go. Napalm death,
nice.
suffocation, cattle decapitated, exhumed, man, exhumed. And then all the awesome European stuff, benighted, ingested, decrepit birth, of course.
Oh yeah.
Crazy catalepsy.
Maybe I'll be a merch guy for them.
Profanity.
Gate creeper.
These guys are cool, dude.
Profanity. Oh yeah. Awesome, man.
Beast. That's a good name.
Cum Beast. What was that on that the Trevor episode? What was the band? Ass Brain or something?
Brain Ass. Dude, they're really good actually. Dude, I sent you the video. Dude,
I listened to it.
Their music's really good.
Like the day after that episode, I threw it on in the living room, and I'm like, holy shit, sounds like Brain Ass, sounds like Disgorge.
From Indonesia. Shout out to Brain Ass.
There's bands from Indonesia. There are a lot of like these. We were talking on the Trevor episode. There's a lot of Disgorge kind of style bands out there, and they have like these kind of like mistranslated names, kind of like Burger Kill and Brain Ass.
Burger Kill, dude.
Check them out.
That's like cattle. That's cattle decapitation, and then Brain Ass is butthead. Dude.
Butthead. No, but I mean, for these wacky kind of sounding names to us, they're great bands though. I was like, holy shit, I like threw them on and was like actually blown away by them. I'm like, oh fuck, Brain Ass fucks, dude.
I checked out Just Sod, who are maybe the biggest, and their singers like smoking on stage while singing death metal. It was fucking insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah, smoking cigarettes. The most Indonesian
no way,
thing
dude.
I've ever seen. Dude.
I haven't checked them out. That's what I guess that's like the main band out there, right?
Yeah, they're really sick. Their new drummer fucking is so sick. Like he should be into Violently Vomit, not me, honestly. Like he's the best drummer for that thing. But
Cool.
Shout out.
And until Diego becomes president of Indonesia,
yeah, he's got to go out there and win an election first. Yep.
All right.
Well, guys. Oh,
yeah,
Anthony.
I was just gonna say I don't know where else we want to go with it. You guys want to keep chatting? I got a hard out in like 20 minutes. I gotta go do some work.
Add stuff.
Do you guys want to shout out anything?
Son
you guys...
stuff. I gotta go be a son. I gotta go help my parents with some stuff.
You got any specific questions left? Like,
did we get any fan questions, Joseph?
I do have one personal reaction, which is so I listened to Fragments, and when the Autopsy came on, the last song, I hear it and I'm like, this sounds like Necrophagist Foul Body Autopsy, and then I'm like, is that intentional or is that just? And then I like wait a little bit, and then like the song repeats the same way that the original one was, and I'm like, fuck yeah, they did it. They like totally paid tribute, and I wanted you to know, like, hopefully that's the reaction you wanted. Someone had it. I was like, this is so sick that you did that. Like, shout out to that, because I love that song. That actually was like the first extreme death metal song I like learned on guitar ever. So
yeah, but what? This was the first song. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
No, the Foul Body Autopsy. Yeah, you fucking.
Yeah.
That was your.
That's the way to start out.
Jesus, Joseph.
Well,
that's definitely like a. It's got. I actually know a bunch of riffs from that. That's like one of my favorite like guitar exercise.
Exactly. Yeah. We covered that song in our high school band when we were like seniors. So,
What high schools do you got there in the US?
Oh yeah, I went to high school with a bunch of dudes who are death metal musicians. Like they all played with Son of Aurelius and Inanimate Existence, and it was a very death metal high school. Yeah, so.
Damn, I would have loved to have something here, but when I went to high school, I was the only one listening to metal at all. Maybe one or two guys listening to a little bit of metal, and that's it. The rest.
I was just telling my buddy Dan, it was the same thing. One of two guys at my high school that we were repping death metal. The rest was like new metal, which I went through that little blip for a second too. But once I got into death metal, it was like, oh, me and Dan realized like nobody else knows what the fuck we're talking about anymore. Like
people here were listening to Oasis and Weezer, and that was the good bands people listened to.
We had a guy at our high school called Metal Mike, and he watches the show too, and he's been to a lot of our old shows and stuff, and he's kind of the classic guy that got us into metal. But like I remember being a freshman in high school, and he was a couple years older or something like that, and he wore these headphones that had like speakers on the outside. So you just hear like this guy coming down the hallway, and it just would be like crazy death metal, like black metal, whatever, just screaming, and all these kids walking around, and he's just all like blasting it like in between class, like every day.
So best. Thomas, explain that real quick. So what is Joseph noticing? So it's like the same structure as Foul Body Autopsy?
Yes, it is, absolutely. And it is almost exactly the same structure. And I can say we copied that structure because we wanted to give our tribute to Necrophagist with this song. And and
that's awesome, dude.
We didn't want to write anything about Necrophagist, especially on the cover or anything. We just wanted to see how will people react, or will people react to the song, because this song is also very special for us. And yeah, back in the days, I also learned this song, Full Body Autopsy. And since some years, I had this idea in my mind, why not to write a song which has the same structure, so I don't need to practice this Necrophagist any song anymore, so then I can practice a profanity song and at the same time giving tribute to Necrophagist. And but I thought maybe more people would see this, that this song is a tribute to Necrophagist. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's too old, I don't know, but it's definitely,
it's not close enough. Maybe it just wasn't close enough, you know.
It was pretty close.
Yeah, it is.
But I like that idea, though. Just to add to that real quick, I like, because there's bands out there that would, probably copy structures and then just call it their own. But you're doing it on purpose for,
and very obviously also tribute. With the song title and everything.
Yeah. You're not only taking the structure of a song that's very like influential to obviously a lot of us, because now Joel and Joseph are saying they used it as like a practicing technique song. And you're actually, paying tribute to saying, here's what I've learned with practicing this song, and I've actually made it my own version of it now because of your music, because of Muhammad's music, so it's like cool. I like that. It's a different kind of tribute, than you would normally get, than just people saying, oh, I covered Foul Body Autopsy. No, I actually took that structure and made my own version of it as a tribute. I love that. I really do.
Maybe it should be more, it should have been more obvious that this is a tribute song, but it is how it is now. And at first we thought alone the title, The Autopsy, is obvious enough.
Yeah. Do you guys
because nobody would think it's a tribute to the band Autopsy, obviously.
Yeah.
They're awesome band, but it doesn't sound very alike.
Do you guys, being from Germany, know any have you ever met Muhammad or anything from Necrophagist? Do you guys know? Have you seen him, talk to him in the last 5 years? Like, what? Like, I want to get that Necrophagist album out. I know
it's that scoop, dude.
I know, because I was talking to Romain a bunch, back in the day, because we toured with Necrophagist, so I kind of knew the guys a little bit. But I remember them. Muhammad was telling me like, oh, it's done. The album's like written, it's all ready to go, and then just it's all about recording it. And then they had that one song they played live, something Feast, or I forget the name of it, but or no, Dawn and Demise. They had that song done and they were doing it live, and then I know Muhammad's actually in the LA area, I think now. I keep getting sightings of him in LA now. I think he moved, right?
Oh, I don't know. I heard I had some contact with Muhammad around 2003 and 2004, and we were living very close to each other, about 200 or 300 kilometers. It's not that far. And we met back in the days here and there on shows and festivals. And we also had some phone calls back in the day. And I can remember a phone call very good when he told me, do you want to get some power tap? What's it called?
Yeah.
Power tap. Am I
Power
right?
tap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he sent me, I think, full body autopsy on power tap and also something from Epitaph. I think it was a stab wound. He sent me by email, and it's only for you and just for you.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
And he was also telling me Epitaph will be out on Relapse Records, and then we have the chance to go on tour with Bolt Thrower, and this was just amazing time. Yeah, but unfortunately we totally lost contact. I don't know where he is and what he is doing. We had some contact with their bass player Fimi.
Oh yeah.
And he is living also very close to us, just in the middle where Lukas and I are living, and what he's doing now.
He even visited one of our shows a few years back.
Yes. Yeah.
I heard the rumor right now with Mohammed. I don't know if, from what I've heard from people that know him, is that he works for BMW as like a engineer now. Is what I
In
heard.
LA?
Something like that, yeah.
Dude, so you're telling me right now that if Necrophagus comes out with a new album, then we can welcome him into the Cali Death umbrella, dude.
Yeah. No, we should try to get Mohammed on here, man. That would be,
dude, that would be amazing.
Groundbreaking.
I mean, we got a couple stories with him too, because we've played, we played a show with him. I've seen him at Maryland. I spend some time aside from just watching him. I got a story about running into him at a fucking liquor store, buying t-shirts out of his fucking back of his Jeep, his rental Jeep that he had, dude, which was watching that show was like people were trying to pit, but then they would like slow down and stop and just look because it was hypnotizing to see Necrophagus live, dude. You're like, you freaked out on that on set for fucking, I don't know how many years it was out before you actually played, maybe a couple or so.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, dude, here it is live with all humans, dude, playing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Still on spot.
And they did a perfect cover of Crystal Mountain. You're just like, oh, it's like the perfect set, dude.
That was the most hype band I've ever, from my era of death metal, that was when they finally hit the States. Like that was like the most hyped thing I've ever, there was like so much anticipation. Everyone's just like hovering over the stage when we played with them in San Francisco for that first time.
Waiting for Epitaph too is a big anticipation, no doubt.
God.
Great stuff, dude.
R.I.P.
Dude. Resurrection.
Necrophagus around, I think it was in 2000, and they played this show with their old lineup, and I can't remember all the names. Maybe Martin, you can. The bassist was Julian, from France, also a very crazy guy, and the guitar player, what was his name? I can't remember. And they also played there Crystal Mountain, and we did a video shoot of this. Martin still has it, the video from this show. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's so awesome.
Yeah. Well, sick, guys. This was cool, dude. I had a really good time today. Thank you so much, Martin, for setting the alarm, dude.
No worries.
Yeah, man. It's above and beyond.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Thank you. This is awesome. Anytime you guys want to come back, we could work it out again in the future. Most definitely. Anybody, you guys want to plug anything? I mean, you guys got to plug all your shit. If you're pushing it all yourself, dude, please go to these guys' websites, buy all their shit that you can, because they're doing it all themselves. That's the real deal shit right there.
What's your website?
Bandcamp.
That people can buy your merch.
You can buy all the merch on our Bandcamp. It's profanitydeathmetal.bandcamp.com, right?
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, here we go. You get the records, the merch, and everything.
Oh, looks good.
If you're going to if you're like interested in the vinyl, there's not too many left. of these.
Nice.
Nice, dude.
That's
So
cool.
gotta be fast.
Yeah.
I might actually go buy one right now.
Oh, I want some sweatpants.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
That's are there shorts?
Oh,
Nice.
shorts. Okay. Well, I'm still down.
Still
Oh, yeah.
down.
You guys have any sandals or no?
We should license some sandals with you
Dude.
guys.
Let's do it.
They're gonna be like, what?
I'll rock them.
What are sandals? Yeah.
Well,
But
cool,
yeah,
guys.
thanks so much, guys. This was super cool. I love you guys, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna bump your shit in my car all the fucking time on the way to the
Yes.
studio.
It's
get
still
stoked
in
on
my
playing
truck.
it.
I got a 6 CD changer. It's still in one of the slots right now ever since I got it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, all right,
Yeah, thanks
guys.
a lot. Thanks a lot for having us and for enjoying our noise.
Yeah, dude. No doubt.
Sure, man. Hell yeah.
And I also want to add, thank you, all of you guys, for giving us this great opportunity here to talk with you about extreme music, to talk about our music. And as we said before, we are an independent band, and so your support is highly appreciated. And I know that you put a lot of time and effort in your Cali Death podcast, and totally awesome.
Thanks, Thomas.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thanks,
man.
dude.
Hell yeah.
Glad
Well,
we could
right
help.
on, guys. Then we'll be back for another one this upcoming Thursday. Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, app, fucking YouTube, all that shit. Cali Death Podcast. Go check it out. Tell your friends. Thanks to all the subscribers. Hit the push notifications, all that good stuff. We love you guys. We'll see you guys soon.